Hi, I'm Insa and this is gonna be a reading vlog. Over the course of the last few weeks I have not been reading as much as I was hoping to due to uni and other reasons. Now, however, seems to be the perfect time to catch up on my reading and to get back into the reading game, which is what I'm trying to do in this vlog. The first book that I chose to read was a book that I've heard many positive but also many negative opinions and reviews on. And also many people who didn't know what to think about this book at all. And the book that I'm talking about is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. In this book we follow the four young men, Jude, Willem, JB and Malcolm, as they make their way through their lives. Later on it's mainly about Jude and Willem, and Jude's past and his demons. I am currently on page 164 of A Little Life. Well, I finished the first part. It was basically just introducing the characters and the setting to the reader. Yeah, my favourite character there was probably Willem. The second part is about Jude. I'm currently in the second chapter of the second part. Honestly, I can feel the tension. I mistrust every character. Hey there, yesterday evening I finished the second part. Yeah, I have to say this part was not as sad as I expected it to be, so I'm a bit suspicious there. I mean, well, some parts were pretty fucked up, but then again, the later parts with Harold, they were quite nice, so I'm kind of expecting a storm. So I just finished part 4, a little later than expected, but I did it. And yeah, that's some heavy stuff. Yeah, at some point you're just wondering how many bad things can happen to a single person. Also, well, thing is, as soon as things start to get a bit better in the present time, I somehow just expect it to become shitty again. So I'm thinking the happy years are not gonna be that happy, maybe? Sometimes Jude drops the tiniest bit of information about his past, and then as the reader you think, oh, finally we get to know something about his time before college, and then he just doesn't say it. He doesn't tell the story, and he backs out, which it's so frustrating. I just finished the 5th part. I finished this bad boy here. This book is definitely not an easy read. I found the writing of this book to be very descriptive and also at some points a bit redundant, which I think might be because of Jude's vicious cycle, which is just very repetitive at some points. One thing that I found a bit unrealistic was that the characters were either good and supportive or evil and straight from hell, and there was not really an in-between. And this book was so depressing. I had a little cry every now and then. Eventually I ended up giving this book a 4 out of 5 stars because I didn't really know what to think about it when I finished it, when I closed it, because I can understand everyone who loves it. I can also understand everyone who hates it, and I didn't really have an opinion on it because it was just such a heavy and difficult book. It's definitely worth a read, but I can't really tell you whether I liked it or not. This second book that I chose to read, or rather listen to, because it was on Spotify, so I thought, let's do it, was Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I read Gone Girl earlier this year and I loved it, and that was the reason why I decided to give Sharp Objects a shot. In this book we follow the young journalist Camille Preaker, who gets sent to her hometown to write about the murder of 2 girls who got strangled or killed and their teeth got pulled. Okay, so I just started listening to the audiobook of Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I started it and then I realized way too late that I had my Spotify on shuffle. So I think I just heard a massive spoiler. Nevertheless, I will now continue with chapter 2 in the correct order. Man, I'm stupid. Well, I'm now about 30% into Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. So far, I'm pretty interested in the protagonist's past and backstory. So far, I think that every person in this town is just so weird. I'll continue listening tomorrow probably, because for now I'm pretty tired. Okay, so what the fuck is wrong with the mother? I'm currently halfway through the book. Honestly, I just find everyone to be very suspicious. I don't know. I think, for example, the mother could be hiding something. Richard, all of them, pretty much. They are just all so fucked up. I just don't know if it's a suburban thing. The thing with me and crime fiction or thrillers is that I find everyone suspicious at some point. So I think of everyone as the murderer. Hey there. I'm slowly but surely reaching the last third of Sharp Objects, and I think I know who it is, but I'm not sure, because it could be so many people, because they're all so horrible. I'm sort of expecting a twist because it's Gillian Flynn. I'll see. I'm currently in chapter, 70 something, and I just find that Emma is probably one of the most fascinating characters I've read about in a while. So, how fucked up exactly is Emma? My god, this was a wild ride. I think, well, the ending was pretty good. I was shook. Definitely a pretty good thriller. And once again, I'm amazed by Gillian Flynn's writing and ideas. I loved Gone Girl, and I love this one as well. So I'm looking forward to reading my next Gillian Flynn book. Yeah. This book is definitely worth a read because, yeah, the murder case is interesting, but what's even more fascinating about the book is that we get to explore the family dynamics of Camille, the protagonist, and her relationship between her mother and her half-sister Emma, and that was the real fucked up thing in this book, let me tell you. The whole atmosphere in this book is really unsettling because we have either the gossiping soccer mums or the teenage bullies, and all of the characters are so frustrating and so annoying. But that is what makes this book so interesting and so fascinating. I ended up giving Sharp Objects 4.5 stars out of 5. If you are interested, HBO made a mini-series out of the book, and it's great, it's brilliant, and definitely worth a watch. The cast is amazing, and just watch it. The third and last book that I chose to read was this one. It's called The Elite, and it's the second part of the selection series by Keira. And it has been on my currently reading shelf on Goodreads since 2016, so 4 years ago pretty much. And yeah, that's what reading this book felt like. I remember that I loved the first part of the series, which is why I bought this one. This book is basically about a country named Leah, and there's monarchy, and when the right time comes, the prince needs to choose a wife. And what better way is there to choose a wife than to hold a huge event named the selection, where he gets to choose out of loads of girls, one girl that he would like to keep. So from that point on, it's basically the kingdom version of The Bachelor. Hello, I just started this novel. Well, I'm so torn on this one because, well, I'm 1/3 in, it's like 100 pages or so, but the thing is, I'm so annoyed by America, well, the protagonist. I want to say she's a kind of girl who thinks she's not like other girls and then kind of looks down on them. Yeah, it's a bit over the top, but I still enjoy this. I feel like so far not much has happened. So far it was just a back and forth between America wanting to be with either Maxon or Aspen, so her two love interests. I'm almost done with the book, and I have to say it's kind of picking up a bit of pace. I kind of start to enjoy it, which is a pity because it's in the last third of the book. But one thing that kind of bothers me about this book is that they prioritize styling and parties so much. There's so much poverty and inequality in this country that my problems surely wouldn't be solved by a Halloween party that the king and the queen and the prince throws. Another thing that I don't really understand is, why is Celeste still there? I mean, of course for our entertainment, but why is she still in the competition? Realistically, I mean, Maxon is not stupid. He knows that she's a bitch, and she's also, I mean, she never does anything nice. Okay, so I'm done with this one. Well, the last, I don't know, 100 pages are quite good. Now, my thoughts on this book. I loved the first part, which is why I bought this one 4 years ago. I felt like the beginning was pretty slow. In the beginning I was also very annoyed by America and her everlasting back and forth between her two love interests. Later on, however, I think this became more interesting because other aspects were added to the story, and I also think that in the second half America was much less annoying than in the first half. I'm considering reading the third book of the series because I'm hopeful. So I gave this 2.5 out of 5 stars. I might like the third part a bit more than this one. This felt a bit like a filler to me, but I am very hopeful that the third part is going to be better than this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to comment on your opinions on the books, and yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!